we're going to try to pass smog again. We did it once in this car, and we can do it again. Proof this high emitter profile passed. I did fail horribly the first time. You know, still cold. We'll definitely drive this around for a while. Exhaust manifold's leaking and the coolant is leaking from the intake manifold. But we're gonna try to pass because this car's slow, and I'm gonna swap in headers and change that intake manifold and put a Weber on it anyway. I also have a hole in my pants. But yeah, we're going to drive this around, get it warmed up, and head over to Allen Smog on San Fernando Road. Just leaving it in 4th gear, revving it out. Okay, so he's testing the evap. So he's gonna pressurize the gas system. And a lot of old cars, if it's holes in the gas tank, rusty, it won't hold pressure. Luckily, no holes. We'll see if we pass. Okay, has to maintain 5 PSI. And then, yeah, and then there's a charcoal canister. He's going to clamp it.
This hose goes to the gas tank. This one
Yes.
is the intake.
Yes. So that's a vent for the gas tank.
Right.
So he's gonna clamp it, and that has to hold 5 PSI. All right, testing. So we won't know the results until the very end, but I'm hoping it will be close to last time. Any second now. Am I gonna have to come back and see Mr. Lee? I don't know. Last time I was gross polluter. We'll see. Oh, I'm still gross polluter. Oh no. Yes, I gotta put smaller jet. He already knew. He said it was running rich. He could smell it. We failed, everyone. This car is a gross polluter. This is the face of a gross polluter. Man, this car's so slow that you would think it would pass smog, and I thought the exact same thing last time. Okay, so our hydrocarbons, I mean, we exceeded, so we failed there. Our CO, we definitely exceeded so much, 4 times as much. We're a gross polluter. It's been about a week. I finally have time to work on this thing. So I'm thinking that the idle mixture screw backed out because I put the wideband to it and it's super rich. And it also has an exhaust leak, so I have a bunch of gaskets here. Here's the wideband I used to test it. And there's an exhaust leak coming from here. And I want to say there's one coming to the head. Somewhere there. It's not so bad when the engine's warmed up, but you can really hear it when you start it. And I want to say there's some sort of leak coming in from here. And I thought the cap was good on this thing, but to be safe, we're gonna weld in this thing and we'll put our wideband right there. And then also when I bought this car, it came with the workshop manual. So he already has it here with some sticky notes. Like idle speed adjusting screw and idle mixture screw. EGR routing. Okay, we'll start this thing up and you can really hear the leak. But I'm also going to use a leaf blower to check where the leaks are after. Okay, so before I get this thing hot by turning it on, I saw something on the internet. What I saw is you take a leaf blower and you attach it to the muffler, essentially pressurizing the exhaust system. And while you pressurize it, you spray a bottle of soap and inspect for exhaust leaks. Let's see if this even turns on. So that's super loud. I can definitely feel air. And you can see we're definitely leaking. We do have some exhaust leaks. We knew it was leaking from the downpipe. I had my suspicion it was leaking from the flange, from the head to the header. We just confirmed that with the bubbles. I mean, realistically, you could get a smoke machine and visually see it, or you could just turn on the car and feel it with your hand before it gets too hot. But I think I'd rather do this because I already have it. Another way you could do it is use the exhaust for the shop vac and shove that into the muffler. That would work the same way. So for this, we're going to pull it up. We're going to get it up on the lift. Essentially, we just need to do this. Did you tell there was an exhaust leak in here? All right, so loosen the downpipe from the bottom with the impact gun. Take off this cast manifold. This manifold doesn't look like it was leaking too bad. The bulk of it was from right here. So the other problem with this was all the studs were loose, thanks to me, because I worked on this last. And there's also a missing stud. So we gotta fix that stud. Might as well do it now. Need to figure out some stud repair. So literally turn in and out, in and out. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. So load up one of these springy things. Double nutted. Diving deep, my previous Rock Auto order had it. I traced the shape of it just so I know how big the inner and outer diameter is. But that's the part number 23591 Felpro. This fits right in there. Right, has room to smash and squish. And we just have to line it up. And there's our studs that we helicoiled. This one already had one. Might have pulled out previously. And then this one I just did. Just so that gasket could kind of sit on here. Sort of cleaned up this. The exhaust manifold calls for 35 foot-pounds. I got the bottom buttoned up and tightened. I'm just curious to see if there's an exhaust leak, so I'm gonna go ahead and just start this thing up. All right, so it seems like I fixed the exhaust leak. Dude, this thing backed out like crazy. This thing is super loose. So it was probably super rich because this essentially was backing out. Okay, so I got this thing lifted up. Gotta get this cat out. On these cars, they have these exhaust temperature probes. Doodad. Keeping your eyes on the prize, we have the catalytic converter here. And I have to cut these flanges. We left off by replacing the cat with it. So here's the old cat. I mean, it still has a bunch of stuff inside, but I'm gonna say it doesn't work too well because not the best TIG welds. Okay, just tacked it in here. Going to just TIG weld it after. All right, a little movie magic and it is welded. There it is, installed with the flex. I just ended up MIG welding it. Muffler, that's super black and Sony. Back, catalytic. Downpipe. Better than before. Okay, got the wideband on. Upon further inspection, the cap had a bunch of melted stuff in it, and the rotor had a bunch of plastic built up, so I don't even know how it was making spark, because I've been trying to diagnose a little misfire. And yeah, it does run rich. As you can see, these plugs are black. Black. But I think it's just because I had the idle airspeed rich. So I do a lot of idling, so that's why they're black. So I steal the jets out of the Corolla carb, the stock Ison carb. I get the top off of the 20R carb. And now I'm taking the primary and secondary jet out. So the primary main jet diameter factory is 121. See what I'm looking at, 125 stamped. Secondary main jet diameter 177. Yeah, it's pretty messed up, but I could see 177. Luckily, these drill bits go in increments of 110, 120, 130. I think it says 103. And the secondary is 159. We do a side-by-side comparison. I'll say the one on the right looks smaller. Drilling and chilling. Let's put it back together. Okay, so got this bolted all back together. Coming back here, we can now replace our spark plugs. Okay, so spec for these were 30 thou. I went to 35 thou, and we'll put these in. I got this new rotor. This one is made in Mexico. This one's made in Japan. So they balance out to like made in US, I guess. That shouldn't be wobbling side to side. As long as this doesn't wobble. Fast idle is off. Okay, so it's idling like a champ. If I lean out the idle anymore, I get a misfire. So only thing I'm worried about is this is locked down all the way one way, but it's correct. If I go one tooth over, it's too much. And I think I had it like that last time and I was fine. But I know some smog people trip out about that. Still puking a bunch of trans oil from the output shaft, and that was the coolant from the carb. We are going to road test this thing and then maybe smog it. So I just have this on ramps. I'm going to take out the wideband because that's technically an emission modifying device. I got this LC2 for cheap on Amazon warehouse. And I just have it wired to a cigarette lighter. Okay, so I definitely picked up some top end. That misfire and the timing, misfire, jets, everything was probably killing my top end. But yeah, feels good now. The time has come. Waiting for the printout. It's okay?
Yeah, sure.
Oh yeah, we passed. We passed. Will I see you in 2 years, Mr. Lee? Will I still see you in 2 years when I bring my car back?
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Hopefully I'm here.
Okay. We passed. Our hydrocarbons is a little elevated. Other than that, yeah, we're good. I was lucky to find this car, but unlucky that it's 76, because 1976 is the first year you need to smog. It's no longer exempt. 75 and older are smog exempt. So thanks to Governor Schwarzenegger, I have to smog my 1976 Celica every 2 years. My smogging registration wasn't due until February, but I decided to get it done early because we're going to throw some mods at it. Thanks for watching. I gotta clean up this big mess.